please help me welcome to the stage Vinh Giang. Come on out, Vinh.
Thanks, David. Bring it in. Thank you. Thank you. Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you so much for clapping. I haven't done anything yet, but thank you. So listen, before I start, I always like to get a bit of a feel. I see some familiar faces. How many of you here actually know who I am and what I do precisely? All right, about 20. Yes. Great. So let me give you a little bit of context so the rest of the keynote does make sense. So you have to go back with me about 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I was in university in Australia studying accounting. Yes, of course. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Fulfilling the Asian prophecy. Yes, of course. So a couple of you have fulfilled the prophecy. Congratulations. The degree in Australia is called Commerce and Law. It's a 5-year degree. And about 4.5 years into the 5-year degree, I came home and I had the following conversation with my parents. So 6 months to go, I come home. Just imagine you were there. I come home, I say, Mum, Dad, I love you. It's taken me all my life to put the confidence to tell you this, but I'm going to quit university. My mum immediately starts crying. It's impossible to cry that fast. But she knows that if she cries, my dad gets pissed off. So she cries. My dad, I kid you not, he sees the tears, he goes, oh, right, yep. Rolls up his sleeves. He walks up towards me and he gives me one of these. He goes, oh, sorry, for those of you who don't know, that's what Bruce Lee does before he kicks your ass. Yeah. So I recognize the signs of danger. So as I say to I go, Dad, no, don't, wait, don't. There's 2 things I have to tell you. I've already quit university. It's kind of already done. I didn't defer, I quit. And the second thing is, Dad, do you remember that investment property you purchased in 2001? And you said it was for me, for motivational purposes. Dad, Commercial Law 1 and 2 at university stated, we had a verbal contract. Yes, yeah, that house is mine. I'd like to sell it, Dad. Use $100,000 of your money to build a business on the internet. To teach magic tricks. No one was laughing then. Just to make sure we're on the same page too, I've just told a 60-year-old Vietnamese man who's been through the wars on a boat for 2 weeks to get to Australia to give this son an education, just told him I wanted to be Harry Potter. Yeah. So you've got to understand, at this point, my dad is furious. He's furious. He doesn't know what to do with himself. He's so angry. He looks to my mum for instructions, who's now crying for real, leaves me in the lounge room, picks up my mum, and they both walk into the kitchen. And at this point, you must understand, I was thinking in my head, why would you go to the knives are in the kitchen? So I begin to panic. And I'm thinking, what are they saying in there? And this is what I'm thinking my dad's saying. He's probably saying something like this. My dad's probably saying something like this to my mum, like this. Don't worry, honey, don't worry, okay? We killed this boy tonight. Okay? Honey, don't worry. Don't worry, okay? Tonight. We make another one, okay? Don't worry. No, thank you. It's not even a joke, but thanks for laughing. Appreciate that. My brother was born as a result. It's an absolute true story. My brother and I are over a decade apart. And just so you know what my life was like, my brother is a straight A student, right? Straight B's if I'm lucky. And my brother, just so academic, he gets these things called perfect A's in Australia. It's quite nauseating, to be honest. Guess what he's studying now in university? Medicine. Yeah, what a jerk, right? Yeah. So for a long time, I think my parents felt like they had one son, my brother. But about 15 minutes pass. My parents gradually come out of the kitchen and they say something that I don't expect. Very difficult to surprise a magician, mind you. But they do. And one thing you need to know about my dad, he's the eldest brother of 7 brothers. He was the one that made the decision to flee Vietnam, leave everything they owned behind, to find a new home for his unborn children. I wasn't born, and he thought of me. My dad's a pretty cool guy. So he comes out with my mum, and this is what my dad says. He goes, boy, I didn't risk my life. I didn't risk the lives of all your uncles, all your aunties, especially your mum and your grandparents. I didn't risk everybody's life in our family to try to find freedom to then force you to do something you don't want to do. If it's magic, it's okay. And then the most beautiful words he said then followed. He said, son, in this life, you owe me one thing. Do you get this? You owe me one thing. You have to jump as high as you can in this life. And as long as I'm alive, I'll forever be your net. And, oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. And so I tested the theory. Yes. I'm a terrible son. But every single time I failed, my dad was there. My mum was there. They were my net. To remind me that failure is just a detour. It's not a destination. Age-old wisdom. Every single time my university friends would then outcast me because I was a university dropout, my mum would remind me that the adversity you go through, it's the training required to become great. Stop shying away from difficult times. It's the training to become great. No adversity, no greatness. And then every single time I needed an extra $200, Dad was there. Yeah. Charged a ridiculous interest rate. Yeah. Why do I tell you this, though? I tell you this before we begin because I want you to know who I am before we even start. I would have never achieved any of the things I've achieved in my life. I would not have become the man that you see today if it wasn't for the sacrifices my mum and dad have made and those before them. And I believe the same to be true for you as you sit here this morning. You would not be who you are, and you would not be where you are if it wasn't for the sacrifices your mum and dad have made and those before them. So before we begin, can we clap it up for our families? Awesome. Brilliant. Lovely. Brilliant, eh? And you see, you're probably thinking at this point, well, did you sell the investment property? Yes, we did. Best day of my life. Never lost so much money so quickly before. But that gave birth to Encyclopedia of Magic. Encyclopedia of Magic is the online business that teaches magic tricks. We started this in 2012. Fast forward to today, we're now known as 52 Cards, and we teach magic now to just over 1 million students from all over the world. It's one of the reasons we were awarded with Young Entrepreneur of the Year in Australia. My mum and dad has 2 sons again. I'm back in the game. Yes, thank you. In your face, Dr. Brother. You see, the last thing you need to know about me before we start this keynote is that I've sold the majority of my business now. I spend most of my time. I've got a theater in Long Beach, California. I teach people how to use their voice. I teach people public speaking. Because as a magician teacher, I focused on the area magicians call showmanship. And showmanship is just a fancy word for great communication skills. And I fundamentally believe this is one of the most important instruments we use in our lives to help others not only have more impact in their lives, but also to heal people. This is the instrument we use. That's what I do. And today, though, there are 3 core lessons I'd love to share with you to help you jump as high as you can in your life. Because if you jump as high as you can in your life, the number of lives you change will be incredible. The only difference with me as a magician, though, is that I will be bringing some of you on stage. So let's get one thing clear. If I pick you and look at you and you look away, I can still see you. So please, let's avoid any awkwardness. Let's avoid this. I have a box. There's something very important in this box. I'm going to put this box just up over here. Could I get the people over here? Do you mind looking after this box for me? Just got to be very careful. You don't want to disrupt this. I'm going to leave it just next to yourself, Wally, if you don't mind. Please don't look inside. Please make sure no one puts anything in or takes anything out. There's no lock, so it can get out. Be careful. It's slightly poisonous. On that note, we shall begin. I need somebody in the room. Please do raise your hands if this applies to you. If you've never experienced close-up magic before, raise your hands. If you've never experienced close-up magic before, never, please genuinely keep them nice and high. I'm going to go with the lady waving her hand at me. Do you mind joining me? Yes, it's you. Yeah, yes, it's you. Yeah, could you? Yes, yeah, could you join me? Big round of applause, please. Big round of applause. Lovely. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Very good. Thank you. How you going?
Hi.
Vin, nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Sarath.
Sarath?
We don't know each other.
That's not my sister. I know, just again, like, oh, he picked his sister. Have a seat, have a seat, have a seat. I know what you're thinking. Sarath, let's just be absolutely honest. Before today, did you know who I was? No. It's very offensive, but that's fine. So Sarath, very simple game we're going to play. It's about perspective. So all I'm going to do is, I want you to watch. You have to guess, actually, which hand the tissue's in. So I'll put it behind my back. Very simple game. Sarath, which hand is the tissue in? Point to the one it's in the other one. Yeah, no, don't listen to me. I'm a magician. Don't listen to me. But go with your decision. Okay, we'll try it again. Watch carefully. I'll go once, twice, thrice. Which one's it in now? What would you say? It's in the other one. No, it's in the other one. No, I'm telling the truth. I was telling the truth. Yes, I'm honest about my dishonesty. Okay, so we'll try this again. You've got to win at least one, otherwise it's weird. So we'll try this. I'll do it very slowly. Once, twice, and again very slowly so you can see. Point to the one you saw it going to. Point to it. Watch it, Sarath. Watch. It's gone. I don't even have sleeves. That's right. Many years of practice, obviously. So we'll try this again. I know what the heck, indeed. So don't take your eyes off this. The second piece. Don't take your eyes. Watch this, Sarath. Once, twice, thrice. Which one's it in now? What would you say? You gotta win at least one. It's in the other one. I'm serious. Yeah. No, don't listen to me. No, you got it. You're right. It's fine. It's fine. We'll try this one more time. Yeah. You kind of have to win one. Okay, so we'll try it again. So watch very carefully. Yeah. Okay. Great. Watch once, twice, and very slowly you'll see it go. Point to the one you saw it go into. Point to it. You saw it. Come on. It was easy. Yes.
I'm still gonna go.
Okay, you go with this. Okay, watch. It's so funny. Watch 1, 2, 3. It's gone again.
In your pocket.
No. But here's the thing. So right now, Sarath is thinking. She's thinking. No, it's not. No, it's not in your pocket. But this is gonna sound crazy. I want you to use your right hand very slowly. Where did it go? Very slowly with your right hand. Reach behind your neck, under your hair. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. You seem like you'd fall for that. I'm just kidding. No, don't laugh. You would have fell for that one too. So Sarath, I have to tell you how this is done, okay? So you can join in on the point. Yes, if you look behind you. Yes, there it is. So Sarath, all I did was this. I did this. I went once, twice, watch. I threw it over your head. That was it. Give her a big round of applause. Sarath, thank you. You're lovely. Thank you. Big round of applause. Great. Perfect. Oh, Sarath. Just tell Uncle and Auntie I said hi. Okay, very good. You see, the question you must ask is, why did I do this? I use magic as my metaphor. And as I travel and speak as a speaker, people tend to ask me, Vin, what is magic? If you had to define it, what is magic? Well, you see, the answer to that is simple. What is magic? Magic is just a problem you can't solve. So for Sarath, when she was sitting here, what was the problem that she could not solve? How does Vin get his hair so blonde? Yes. No, the problem she couldn't solve was, well, where did the tissue go? This guy's amazing. She couldn't solve this problem, but every single one of you in the audience could. The question then is why? It's perspective. Very early on in my entrepreneurial journey, every single time there was a problem that I couldn't solve, whether it was in my personal life or my professional life, the reason I couldn't solve the problem was not because the problem was difficult to solve, was not because the problem had no solution, but the reason I couldn't solve the problem was because I'd fallen victim to a silo mentality. Started to look at things from one perspective, my own perspective, and then I made the assumption, I can't solve this, I can't solve that. But if I'd asked somebody else for help, the solution was always this clear. And Sarath is sitting there slightly pissed off at this point. Yes. But you see, my job as a speaker is I can't just tell you the things I believe. I need to prove to you the things I believe. So I thought, how could I prove this to a room with over 3,500 people? So I created a video. So I'd like you to watch this video. It's a trick And I'd like you to see if you can solve this trick. It's a problem. See if you can solve it. Here we go.
What you're about to witness is one of the oldest psychological illusions in the world. Now, before we go any further, I want you to make sure that every single card here is in actual fact different. That is the first thing I want you to notice. The second thing is I want you to see that the backs are all actually blue. Now, the interesting thing about the color blue is the psychological implications it actually has on the human mind. Now, if you're actually here, I would get you to cut the cards and you could pick any card you'd like at random. Because you're not, let's just go with a random card here. Let's say that's your chosen card, okay? Remember that card. It's very important you actually do remember that card. Because if you don't, this next bit actually won't make sense. So, look, I understand that this card here isn't your card. Okay? I understand that the 10 isn't. But I want you to pretend that you can visualize your card in that 10 there. So watch. If you have a look at this card here, the funny thing is, it becomes your card. Now, did you see the change? Did you see it? Not the change there. That's not the change I'm talking about. Did you see this change here? You see, because if you didn't see this change, then chances are you didn't see this change. Every single card becomes red. Every single one. And this right here is one of the oldest psychological illusions in the world.
Brilliant. So you see, at this point, most people are thinking, why did Vin show us a video? Why didn't he do it here live? You see, because if I did it here live, there's over 3,500 different perspectives in this room. Of course you could solve it. But by showing you a video, you had one perspective. You had a silent mentality. The only thing you could see was what my cameraman was showing you, a silent mentality. How can you solve this? It's highly improbable. So what I did on the exact same day is I put another camera in the corner to film the exact same thing. So I'm going to show you now the exact same thing from a completely different perspective. So same thing, different perspective. See if you can solve it now. I think you'll find this one more intriguing than the last. Same thing, different perspective.
What you're about to witness is one of the oldest psychological illusions in the world. Now, before we go any further, I want you to make sure that every single card here is in actual fact different. That is the first thing I want you to notice. The second thing is I want you to see that the backs are all actually blue. Now, the interesting thing about the color blue is the psychological implications it actually has on the human mind. Now, if you're actually here, I would get you to cut the cards and you could pick any card you'd like at random. Because you're not, let's just go with a random card here. Let's say that's your chosen card, okay? Remember that card. It's very important you actually do remember that card. Because if you don't, this next bit actually won't make sense. So, look, I understand that this card here isn't your card. Okay? I understand that the 10 isn't. But I want you to pretend that you can visualize your card in that 10 there. So watch. If you have a look at this card here, the funny thing is, it becomes your card. Now, did you see the change? Did you see it? Not the change there. That's not the change I'm talking about. Did you see this change here? You see, because if you didn't see this change, then chances are you didn't see this change. Every single card becomes red. Every single one. And this right here is one of the oldest psychological illusions in the world.
You see, with the second perspective, how many of you solved the problem? Did you see me blatantly switch out the cards? You solved the problem that a moment ago, a minute and 30 seconds ago, felt impossible. But then a minute and 30 seconds later, with the right perspective, the impossible not only becomes possible, it becomes easy to solve. My friends, perspective is power. And I want you to think about this not only for your professional life, but for your personal life too. What problems are you going through now? What challenges do you have? And are you getting stuck in a silent mentality? Because perspective is power. You know, if I spent all of my time with magicians, I would have never built the online business. It was the perspective of an online business person that could see an opportunity in front of me in my life that I was blind to for 15 years. Perspective is power. Good. See, the next point I'd love to share with you, this is a bit more difficult. This particular experiment, it was banned on live TV, but this is in person, so it's fine. So we need to genuinely do this experiment. So if you can't see me, please do look at the iMags. But what I need you all to do is, as you're looking at me, I need you to think of a number. All of you do this. Think of a number between, say, 1 and 10, and just get that number in your head very clearly. And if you're thinking of the number 7, please stand. Please stand. Don't lie. Doesn't matter where you are, please stand. Thank you. Good. A good, healthy majority of you. Good. So the people who are standing, you're still in the game. So those who are standing, I need you to think of another number as you look at me between 1 to 10, not 7, but one that feels right for you. Okay? So whatever that is, if you're thinking of the number 3, stay standing. Stay standing if you're thinking of the number 3. Good. Good, good, good. All right, have a look around you at the people who are still standing. Yeah, these are the most predictable people in the room. Yes, absolutely. Stay standing, don't sit, stay standing, stay standing. I'm gonna go, okay. So actually, don't come on stage just yet, but the gentleman wearing the black with the glasses there, yeah, yes, it's you. What's your favorite color, nice and loud? No, we won't go with that, actually. That's a bit weird, actually. Lady just up front here, what's your favorite color? Black, not a color, but okay. What if you had to pick a different one? Red, good choice. Join me on stage. Everyone have a seat, have a seat. Big round of applause as she joins me, please. Big round of applause. Good, thank you. Perfect. So thank you for volunteering. Nice to meet you. What's your name? Mariella. Mariella, if you don't mind just standing over here. Please, we'll try this experiment, just here. And face me, Mariella. This is about influence. You can see the slide there. It's about influence, okay? So Mariella, I'm going to give you the wonderful opportunity to win 50 cents Australian. Yes. Oh, worth less than it is here in the US, yes. Mariella, I'd like you to hold the coin behind your back like this between your fingertips, please, if you don't mind. Thank you. And I promise I won't look at the screens in a moment, but in a moment, I want you to make a decision in your head which hand you want to put the coin in, Mariella. But don't let me influence you. So I'll just say one thing, Mariella, before we start. Free choice. In a moment, I want you to put the coin in the hand that, feels right for you. And the hand you have left, just leave it empty, okay? Good. Whatever that means, Mariella, make your decision. Bring your hands forward like this, please, quickly as you can. Oh, and look. Good. Do you feel that was a free choice, yes or no? Yes. Did you hear what I said? I said subtly, I said, put the coin in the hand that feels right and leave the hand that's left empty. I told her to put it in the right hand. So she's up here a little bit nervous. She does exactly what I want her to do. Could you open your right hand, please? Open it. Yes, it is. Good. We'll do it for... You're perfect for this. This is great. This is fantastic. This is perfect. This is good. So Mariella, think about this. You've just put it in the right hand. So out loud, what do you think most people do now? They keep it in the right hand. Yes, they do this, but you don't have to do that. You just do what feels right. Make your own decision, bring your hands forward quickly as you can, don't think about it. Now, did you put it in your pocket? No. Okay, good. But you see, this time, she's now thinking to herself, he said right again. But then in her mind, she's thinking, he's bluffing. Yeah, that's what everyone thinks. They go, oh, he's bluffing, and that's when they fall for it, and they do exactly what I want them to do again, and they keep it in the right hand. So could you open your right hand again? Open it. Open it. Yes, good, that's still in the right hand. Behind your back, behind your back, behind your back, behind your back. You're very good at this game. This is great. You're very good at this. So, but this is what's interesting about this game is because I played this thousands of times, so I get it. It's best out of 4. So you see, right now, she's gone right twice. So you know what Mariella's thinking now? She's thinking, I wonder what the coin feels like in my left palm. We become itchingly curious. We go, oh, I just want to squeeze it in my left palm. But you don't have to fall victim to this curiosity. It's a free choice. You have 2 choices left. Good. You can't get this wrong. You can only get this left. Make your own decision. Bring your hands forward nice and quickly. And face the audience, Mariella. Mariella, you've got a choice at this point. You could cross your right hand over the left or your left hand over the right. Make your decision now. Oh, interesting. Leave it there. Interesting. Let me tell you why. You see, cross it all the way. You see, the top hand it's not as obvious as that bottom hand over there, because the bottom hand, she knows how I'm playing this game now. And originally I was on the other side, so the coin that she has, she will put it as far away from me as possible, which is in that one there, which I believe is the left. So could you open the left? Open it, open it, open it. Yes, good, that's 3 out of 4, good. Good, good, good. Okay, you know what she's thinking right now? She's thinking, I hate this guy. I hate this guy, yes. Exactly where I need you to be. So here's the thing, Mariella, you're so good at this, I'm just going to tell you what you're going to do now. So Mariella, I know you're going to now change it to the right, but you don't have to do this. So if you want to catch me out, leave it in the left, okay? Free choice, yeah. Oh, and look, bring your hands forward, quickly as you can. Do you want, last chance to change it, change your mind or stick? Change or stick? It's inevitable. The last one is always the right. Could you open your right hand, please? Open it. Yes, it was. Give her a big round of applause. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold on. Okay. Good. Oh, you can have it. It's fine. Here's the thing. This is going to freak you out. Coins, it's 50-50. Thank you for clapping. But what's more impressive is there's an animal you should be thinking of. And this is going to, it's not a cat or a dog, okay? And it's not a koala because I'm from Australia or a kangaroo, okay? Do you have an animal that feels rant? Oof. I know the exact animal you're thinking of. This is going to freak you out for the first time ever. What's the animal you're thinking of?
Bear.
Sorry?
Bear.
That's exactly what I wanted you to think of. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Of course, it was a bear. Thank you very much, Mariella. Thank you. It was a bear. Yes. Mariella, just a rawr. Bear. Perfect. So you're all probably thinking at this point, what on earth was this? I did this to prove to you that influence is one of the most powerful forces in life. But I need to prove this to all of you, not just Mariella. So please, join me in doing this. I would like everyone to hold out their right hands, please, if you don't mind. Right hands, good. Turn your right hands upside down. Point all your fingers together. Bend your arm 90 degrees. This next bit, do as quickly as you can. Please, don't hurt yourself. Quickly as you can, take all the points of your fingertips quickly as you can. Everyone go to your cheek and turn to the person next to you. Say, that's your chin, not your cheek. Yeah. Yeah. And just in case you're wondering, Mariella fell for that one too. So just in case you're wondering, yeah. But you see, what is that an example of? 95% of the room falls for this. That's an example of visual influence. Or Simon Says. Up here on stage with Mariella is a game of linguistic influence. I cannot prove to you anymore, influence is one of the most powerful forces in life. And this next lesson is for you, Because I believe as you grow personally, you flourish professionally. This next one's for you. When I learned this next lesson from my mentor, David Griggs, in my early 20s, he said, Vin, if you just get this one lesson about influence, you can craft any life you desire. And the lesson was this. He said to me, Vin, you are the direct reflection of the top 5 people you spend time with. Vin, you are the direct reflection of the top 5 people you spend time with. That's who you are. But this is an assessment of who we are in the present, not as useful for the future when we look forward. So what does this mean for the future? What it means is we can choose who we become in the future by deciding who we spend time with today. We can craft the person we become. Is there a skill you wish to acquire? Is there an attribute you wish to acquire? Bring that person to your top 5 and watch them influence you. Don't leave that to chance. Craft it. You see, I've wanted to be a speaker now for, oh my goodness, for about nearly 10 years. And I remember asking the same mentor who taught me this, David, I said, David, I really want to become a speaker. What do I do? And David said, Vin, if you want to become a speaker, teach public speaking and communication skills, then you need to do 2 to 3 years of vocal classes, 2 to 3 years of theater classes, learn how to use this instrument and this instrument. And funny enough, David had a school for theater and singing. Good for David. I paid David quite a bit of money, but more expensive than that, I gave him 3 years of my time and I did his classes. And at the end of that, no speaking career. Yeah, didn't teach anybody public speaking at all. And I was like, David, what's going on, mate? Where's the speaking career? Where's the workshop career? And David says, oh, Vin, you're so stupid. Vin, you spend all of your time with 4 magicians and 3 online coders in an office that's underground and you don't talk to each other. If you want to be a speaker, Vin, bring a speaker into your top 5. So the stalking began. So I go onto Google and I Google best keynote speaker in Australia. And I come across this gentleman here, Matthew Mihaljevic, an incredible entrepreneur, started his life in Poland, moved to the USA, built multiple companies, and then moved to Australia, did the same thing. Incredible entrepreneur. But then I saw him speak. And he spoke in Sydney. I flew to Sydney. I watched him speak. He was one of the very few speakers who used this instrument so well he moved me. So I knew it. This was the man that I had to email every single 8 days from now forward. Yes. Oh, sorry, and 8 days so that every week he gets the email on a different day. Keep things fresh. It's very important, yeah. 6 months of doing this. You will not believe what happens next. He blocks me. I was shocked. I was shocked because I thought, wouldn't an entrepreneur reward persistence? Not Matthew. So I couldn't understand why he blocks me. So then I think to myself, I need him in my top 5. So it's about a year and a half in. I ran out of ideas, but I had one left. And I spent all of my savings in 2014. And I purchased 1,000 of his books. Yeah, my wife was really angry. Yeah, so I took this photo. I took a photo with all the books and the receipt. I spent more than $23,000 on his books. And I sent these pictures to him and I said, Matthew, please, please, I believe in the things you write about. Please just give me 15 minutes of your time. Later that week, he calls. I knew it was him because I'd saved his number. And I kid you not, it rang once. Ring, Matthew. I can hear him pause and freak out. And then I kid you not, these were his exact words. He goes, Vin, you cheeky bastard. In a week's time, I'll give you an hour of my time. You know, Matthew didn't know it at the time, but since that day, in October 2014, since then, we've become best friends. Yeah. How creepy is that? Yeah. But you see, here's the crazy thing. So Matthew took me to Poland, his home country, for 4 weeks to live in his house. He taught me how to build my speaking career here in the United States of America. He taught me how to build my public speaking workshops here in the USA. I now live in California. I speak in the USA and I teach in the USA. I would not be here if it was not for Matthew. But so my question to you is, more importantly, where will you not be in the future if you don't have the right top 5 now? Choose wisely. And I see some of you panicking. Don't worry, there's a professional top 5 and a personal, because some of you are thinking, I need to get rid of Greg. He's got to go. I have no room left. This is just the children gone. Listen, there's a professional top 5. You can keep your families, it's absolutely fine. Hilarious. But listen, don't leave this to chance. Craft the person you want to become. Is there an attribute? Is there a skill set you need? And beyond this, there's one more thing. Matthew didn't just teach me the attributes or the skill set. He influenced something much greater. I come from a refugee family from Australia, right? So I'm originally from Vietnam, and I had a very small mind. I didn't believe this was possible for me. To be working with amazing groups like Davita, I didn't believe this was possible for me. I couldn't speak across the world, and I didn't believe this was possible. Spending time with Matthew, he influenced my beliefs about what was possible for me. He changed my beliefs about what was possible for me. What beliefs do you need moving forward? What skills do you need? What attributes do you need? You are the direct reflection of the top 5 people you spend time with. My friends, choose wisely. Do not leave this to chance. Good. The last point I'd love to share with you. You see, the last point, what I'd love to share with you is very complex, actually. I need 7 people, of which I've already picked. So when I do pick you, please don't be alarmed. And please don't resist. It makes it kind of awkward for you, okay? So when I point to you, please just stand, okay? So please just stand, don't resist. There's a gentleman right on the corner there. Right on the corner with yes, someone's pointing at you. So the lady's pointing. Yes, it's you. Could you stand, please? Yes, could you stand? Yes, thank you. Number 1, stay there. Number 1, stay standing. Number 1. Number 2, there's a gentleman right in the back in the red t-shirt, right in the back. He's trying to hide. Yes, it's you. Thank you. Number 2, good. Nobody is safe. Number 3, there's the lady with the lovely pink ribbon on top of her head. If you don't mind, if you could stand, please. Thank you. Good. Number 3. Number 4, there's the lady in 1 with the yellow bandana on her head. Yes, it's you. In 1. Yes, thank you. With the pom-pom in the back. Good. That's 4. Good. 4. 5. Where did you go? 5. The gentleman up front, just here with the yellow armband on his arm. Thank you. Number 5. Number 6, the lady just up front here with the coffee. Thank you. 6. Thank you. And 7, lady just up front with the red on the front. Yes, it's you. Thank you. Could you stand, please? Can we give these 7 people a big round of applause? Good. The 7 of you have a very important task. You need to pick a number between 1 and 45. Not necessarily 1 or 45, somewhere in between there, okay? And the most common number to be picked is 37, okay? So don't pick that, okay? But you can. You totally can, because it's a free choice. And the only rule in the game is if somebody else picks your number before it's your turn, you have to pick a different one. Does that make sense? Good. And you're gonna have to use your voice for me. The first number, what would you like, ma'am? Nice and loud, please. 25, good choice. 25. Thank you very much. 25. I'll go to the gentleman over there. 34, good choice. 34. Thank you, correct. Thank you. And the gentleman right in the back. 2. Correct again, thank you. 2, thank you. And I'll go with the lady up front. What would you like? Nice and loud. 19. Right. Would you like to change your mind? No, just asking, don't get angry. Okay, just asking. So was it 19? No, 19. Be very scary to be in a relationship with her. She's very strong. I wouldn't get away with anything. The lady just over there, what would you like? 33? Good choice, thank you. 33, thank you. 33, 33. The lady over there in the yellow. 32.2. Yeah, you can't do that. Yeah. So I'd like you to please genuinely go for something different, because at this point, most people are thinking, oh, he might have talked to these people before. So genuinely go for something completely random now. No decimals. 12. Good choice, thank you. 12. And the last one, before you say anything, the number you're thinking of was wrong, okay? 3 is incorrect. So I'd like you genuinely to change your mind once as well, if you can. 7, correct, thank you very much for that. 7, good. 7, thank you. Perfect, could we give these people a big round of applause as they have a seat? Have a seat. For the last piece I'm about to share with you, this is what a magician performed in 1907. And when the magician performed this, he made the world believe that psychic powers, mind reading, and fortune telling was real with this technique. Charlatans then used this technique to fool people for centuries. And I'd love to bring somebody up for this, but I need someone who's very good with long words. So if you're good with long words, please raise your hand. Let me rephrase that question. Please point to someone who's good at long words, if you don't mind, thank you. I'm gonna ask someone to, I genuinely need a volunteer. Would someone genuinely come up and be good at, You'll do it? Could you join me, please? Could we give him a big round of applause as he comes joins me? Thank you. Oh, lovely. Super sweet of you. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. Brilliant. What's your name? Joshua, thank you. Thank you, Joshua. So, Joshua, if you could just stand over here. Lovely. All right. All right, Joshua, here we go. So, Joshua, I've got 3 books. Okay. I've got Da Vinci Code, Dan Brown.
Never read it.
Never read it. Classic. Oh, Stephen King, The Shining.
He scared me as a kid.
Okay, but classic.
Good movie.
But the most classic of them all, as we'd all know, no contest, Harry Potter.
That's your.
That's like, yeah. Which one would you like? Free choice. Oh, Stephen King. Yes. All right, good. Very cultured man. So, Joshua, if you grab that. Now, here's the thing, Joshua. In a moment, I need you to listen to my instructions very carefully. Joshua, in a moment, I need you to open that book to a random page. Don't go to, you've never read it, but don't go to what you would think is a good chapter, because you haven't read it, but just kind of go random. Random is critical, random is key. So just kind of go random. If you could do that for me now, Joshua. Go for it. Good. Thank you. Very good, very good. You follow instructions very well. So Joshua, the 2 pages you're on, I'd like you to look for a nice, long, interesting word. And please avoid the names of the characters. I know them off by heart. So kind of, and don't go for the first long word you see, Joshua. Change your mind as many times as you like. And when you have a nice, long, interesting word, then stick with it. Do you have one, Joshua? Okay, good. Joshua, say the word in your head a couple of times. Don't forget this word, because if you did, the trick would be crap, yeah. So please remember it, close the book, leave the book on the floor. Now, what's peculiar about the way the magician performs this, most magicians, when they perform this, people have to write something down, fold up the piece of paper and put it in their pocket. Or they have to circle the word in the book. So the magician, and then at some point, can take a peek at that. They can peek at the folded piece of paper, or they can peek at the book. Nothing is circled in this, nothing is written down. The only place that word lives right now is in your head. So if you could stand, just come to the front of the stage, Joshua. So face the audience. And what the magician then does is this. Joshua, I'd like you in a moment to pretend you do have psychic powers. And the way you do this, Joshua, is you pretend your eyes are like projector screens, okay? Just hold one hand up like this. Yeah, that's very good. And just look to this side of the audience. And Joshua, I'd like you to send them the first letter of your word just with your eyes, okay? And maybe use both hands, it's better for reception. Yeah, of course, we're indoors. So if you could send them with your eyes, and audience members look at Joshua as he does this, and just audience members guess a letter in your head as you look at this. Genuinely do this. Guess a letter in your head and scan the room with this. And Joshua, push a bit harder than that if you can with you. Good. Try to avoid looking constipated if you can. Yeah, that's. But keep going. No, keep going. Keep going. Push all the way through. All the way through. And one more time back. All the way through. And audience members guess a letter as you look at this. And hands down. Good. In a room with 3,500 people or more, statistically speaking, no more than about 100 of you should get this correct. No more. No more, if we were guessing. So Joshua, in a moment, I want you to, very loudly into the mic, I want you to tell everyone what letter you were trying to send. If you got it right, please stand so we can count you. What was the letter you were trying to send?
P.
P. Stand if you got P. 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 Good. Stand. Sorry, I didn't mean P, but the letter P. If you could stand, please. Have a look around you. Have a look around you at the people standing. This is what would happen back in the early 1900s, and people would go, oh, psychic powers must be real. Have a seat, have a seat, have a seat. People weren't as clever back then. And this is what the magician does next to anchor that belief, okay? So face me now. Let's try this. So if you could just go with this. Could you just lock your gaze onto my palm, Joshua? Lock your gaze, thank you. So as you lock your gaze there, Joshua, I need you to pretend you can see the second letter there in my palm, in the base of, oh, good. Oh, make sure it's in lower caps, not upper caps. Yeah, it's a rookie mistake, it's fine. So just see it there nice and clearly, Joshua. Just clearly, it's just kind of getting, genuinely do this, it's getting a bit bigger and bolder as you almost drawing it with your eyes. And, oh, you gave it, oh, I think you just, oh, yes or no? Does the sound come from the back of your throat? You said, oh, is it an R? Okay, good, thank you. So it's an, okay, good, this is an R. And then the next part, you're not allowed to use your fingers. Just in your head, Joshua, think to yourself, how many syllables are there in this word? Say yes when you know the answer. Took about 4 or 5 seconds. Generally, it's a second per syllable. No, you didn't. You were counting. I could see you nodding your head as you're doing it. So I reckon it's either 4 or 5. So name a number, 4 or 5, not necessarily the number of syllables. Name a random number, 4 or 5. 4. Under pressure, we crack, so it's 4 syllables. So thank you for that. So I'll just write that down. Good, and you just nodded, so you gave that. Try give nothing away, give nothing away. Yeah, you can't help it. Yeah, okay.
I'm a ginger.
Good, so here's Joshua. Last thing I'm going to do, make it harder for me. Can you balance with your eyes closed? Okay, good. Could you do that for me? Yep. No. On both. That's drink driving. I don't know why you went straight to that. That's hilarious. Both feet on the ground. You don't have to do one. But just naturally guilty. I like it. So, just both feet on the ground. Just both feet on the ground. If you could close your eyes as of now, please keep them closed and lift your chin up if you can. Thank you. Good. So, Joshua, in a moment when I tap you on the left shoulder, I need you to say the word in your head without moving your lips over and over again. Don't do it yet. Only when I tap you on the left shoulder. I need to see the difference. Please genuinely do this. Wait. Start saying it to yourself now. Slow down. I do apologize. If you can keep going like that. Keep going. Let that voice now in your head, Joshua, get louder. No, imagine yourself screaming this at me. Match my volume in your head. Louder than that, Joshua. Imagine yourself screaming. Stop. If I get this wrong, it's his fault. think it's quite painfully obvious at this point. Could you close your eyes? I'm going to show them what I believe it is. It should be this. It doesn't have to be this, but it absolutely should be because of the way that last bit kind of resonated. It should be this, okay? So, could you open your eyes, Josh? Did you change your mind at least once? Okay, cool. I told you to, but what are your instructions for? All good. That's fine. Oh, bugger that. Okay. You didn't change your mind? Yeah. Oh, you did now. Oh, God. Bugger it. It's probably too late. In a very loud voice, what was the word you were trying to send? What was it?
Oh, my word?
Yes.
Oh, predetermined.
Predetermined into the microphone. It was predetermined. Yes, it was. Yes. Big round of applause, please. Thank you very much indeed. You're amazing. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Big round of applause. Good. Predetermined. Good. Good. Okay. In 2012, you must understand, there was nothing more that I cared about in my career as a magician. Professionally, in my industry, this was the most impossible thing. And all I had to work with was 4 sentences from a newspaper extract from 1907 that described this trick. So I took that extract, I photocopied it from my state library, took it to all my magic buddies and said, we must learn this. This is the most impossible thing to do in our industry. And they all looked at me and they said, far out, mate, calm down. Then a book like that has 100,000 words. That's 100,000 out of 1. It's impossible. You're an idiot. Obviously, I removed them from my top 5. Okay? And something truly profound came as a result. All my magic buddies who believed that this could not be done, guess what? They didn't even try. They didn't even try. And guess what? When they tried, they half-assed it. They didn't even give it a full ass. Right? Yeah. I gave this both cheeks. Okay? And here's the thing. I found the method. I discovered the method. And my friends, moving forward in life, professionally and personally, you will face challenges that feel impossible. You will want to have goals that sometimes feel outrageous and impossible. I want to tell you how this trick is done. I'm going to teach you because I know you will face these impossible challenges and impossible goals that you want to achieve. So let me tell you how magicians create the impossible and use this as a metaphor the next time you encounter something that seems challenging or difficult. You see, what's the first step? What's the first step to creating the impossible? So that's my question to you. What is that first step? What is it? The first step is you must fundamentally believe with conviction that it can be done. But why is this belief thing so important? Why? This belief thing is important because your beliefs dictate your actions in life. Your beliefs dictate your actions. So when you believe something can be done with conviction, it dictates your actions and you take the first step. And only when you take the first step can you see step 2. You cannot see step 2 from step 0. You've got to be on step 1. What's the first instruction I gave Joshua? Do you remember? I said, open the book to a random page. And I really said, random, even to the point he was like, random, right? And what did he do when he said that? He went somewhere in the middle. Because random feels like it's in the middle. You tell anybody in the Western countries, random, nobody goes for the first 25% or the last 25%. People always go for the middle 50% because that feels random. So just like that, you take the second step. It's not 1 out of 100,000. It's 1 out of 50,000. It's a lot easier, right? Yeah, no, it's not. You lose your mind on step 2, you dye your hair blonde and you go crazy. Yeah. But why do you keep going though? You must think about this. Why do you keep going? Why do entrepreneurs or why do magicians keep going in the face of adversity or when the odds are stacked against them? Why do you keep going? Because you believe it can be done. Because you believe there's a way. So you stay on track. You don't fall victim to a silo mentality. You ask for a perspective you've never collaborated with before. So you ask a linguist. Never talked to a linguist before. Different perspective. And I said, what's the next step, Miss Linguist? And she goes, oh, Vin, the next step is so simple. You are an idiot. Just ask them to pick a long word, not a short word. And then she told me, do you know what that means, Vin? A long word is a word with more than 6 letters. because anything with less than 6 letters looks visually short next to the long words. So if you remove every single word in the middle 50% that has less than 6 letters, you've now removed more than 90% of this. So you take the next step. It's not 1 out of 50,000, it's 1 out of 5,000. And the next 2 steps will blow your minds as to how this is done. But I'm not sharing it. No. Because how this trick is done is not important to you. You're not magicians. But the most important thing, my friends, is this first step. Far too often when we look at the goals or the challenges that we face moving forward, far too often we give the challenge or the difficult goal, we go, oh, it's impossible. I can't do this. And you don't even try. So I'm going to prove to you that anything can be achieved, that anything is possible. But before I do this, if any of you want any of my other talks, if you want a copy of this talk, or if you want my keynote slides, or you'd like to join me for a workshop at some point in Long Beach, my students say my public speaking classes are like 3 days of nervous diarrhea. Yes, so if you do want to come, bring extra pants. Yes. I'll leave this there for you if you'd like to take it down, but here's the thing. What's the most impossible thing in this world? I must do it. Because if I can do the most impossible thing, it therefore makes everything else below it possible. And the most impossible thing is in that box. You've been keeping an eye on this box, obviously. You didn't hear anything? No? Good. It's already dead, so it's fine. There was a lady who joined me on stage, who played the coin game with me. Is she still here, or has she run off already? Oh, good. Could you mind joining me back on stage, please, as one more last time? Could we give her a big round of applause as she joins me? Thank you. Come join me on stage. Thank you very much. I'd love to show you what's inside. You see, inside the box that the gentleman so lovely, he took care of it for me, I have a jar, and inside the jar, I keep a scroll, so thank you for this. And inside this scroll is something for you. I just wrote a few things about how the show was going to go, so if you could just stand here, please, if you don't mind. Thank you. If you could grab the scroll out. I don't want to touch that. Don't open it just yet. And in a moment, just so you all have context, before I start my keynotes, I always write down a few things about how I think this presentation is going to go, especially the people I'm going to bring on stage. So the first thing, if you could hang on to this mic as well with one hand and just hold on to this piece of paper with this hand over there. The first thing I wrote was, who is going to think of the number 7 and 3? You did. You thought of the number 7 and 3, then you came on stage. So I wrote a few things about you that I couldn't possibly know.
Okay.
So the first, I would not know this about how you would appear. How could I know that you would be wearing a white name tag? Yeah. Impossible. But then look, I thought I'd take it a bit further so she knew it was her. So just in case, I wrote a few more things about you. I wrote that you'd also have dark hair. Dark hair indeed. And then look, let's push it a bit further. And then I said, you'd also have a red top. Yes, red top indeed. And then I thought, you know what? Oh, by the way, this is magic, not stalking. Okay? It's a clear difference. If you can hang on to this bit now and let go of the other bit. So here's the thing. Then I got you to think of an animal. Right? Okay. What animal did you think of?
Bear.
Bear. You thought I didn't know. Oh no, I knew. Yeah, remember you laughed at me about 32 minutes ago. Yeah, I knew it was a bear. So I drew it. Yes, yes. That's what they look like in Australia. That's an Australian bear. I'm a terrible artist, so just in case I had to write, I'm a bear. No, thank you. No, thank you. And all at once or none at all, please. Thank you. But here's the thing. What's the most impossible thing? The most impossible thing is not you achieving the things you desire. The most impossible thing is not you overcoming impossible challenges. The most impossible thing, statistically speaking, is winning the Australian lottery. Yes, you have to get 7 numbers in a row correct between 1 and 45. You 7 people picked 7 numbers. I picked them myself too. So, Mariella, if you don't mind reading the lowest numerical number there for me, moving towards the highest, 1 at a time, I'll call for it. What's the first one?
2.
2. Wait for it.
7.
Thank you for changing your mind.
12.
Just building suspense. Yes, thank you.
19, 25,
And at this point, you've won $38.50. Yes, next one.
33, and 34.
Where are you, 34? Please stand. 34, where are you? Stand, 34. In a very loud voice, like a crescendo at the end of an orchestra, the odds of this is over 1 over 100 million. The final number is? You say it, you say it, you say it very loud. 34, of course it was. Big round of applause. Oh, please stand. Please stay stand. Okay. What's your name? Aaron? Darren? We got this. Don't lie. Don't lie. Were you thinking of 35 before 34? Yes or no? No, not even to save the show. Thanks, Darren. You're a great bloke, mate. Cheers for that. That's great. All right, well, just thought I'd open a window. Well, I'm so glad you didn't think of 35. Because if you did, this next bit wouldn't really make sense then, would it? It was 34. Big round of applause, please. Thank you very much, Mariella. Thank you. You're amazing. Thank you. Big round of applause. Good. I'll leave you with this. I'll leave you with this. Think about this. You now know from the last part that I was talking about in the keynote, your beliefs dictate your actions. This is when the lessons come full circle. If your beliefs dictate your actions, then you must question, where do our beliefs come from? Where do our beliefs come from? Our beliefs about what's possible for us personally, our beliefs about what's possible for us professionally, where do these beliefs come from? These beliefs come from the top 5 people you spend time with. My friends, if you change your environment, you change the perspectives you have access to, changes your beliefs, it changes your actions, it changes your entire life. I'll leave you with a quote. Does everyone know who Steve Jobs is? That's a wonderful company, Apple. What a wonderful charity. Yes. You give them money every 6 months and you get a free iPad. Yes. But he has this wonderful quote that is so relevant to what you all do. And he says, those people in the world who are crazy enough to believe that they can change the world, they are the people who actually do. Those of you in this room, make it relevant for you, who are crazy enough to believe you can achieve anything you desire in your life. You're crazy enough to believe this. Then, my friends, you are the very people who will do just that. Good luck. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you, my friends. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful conference. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.